Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, Bank of Ghana's gold coin finally goes on sale. You may need at least 11,000 cedis to grab a quarter of an ounce. We'll tell you about it. Also coming up, Ghana is set to surpass 4 million ounces of gold production this year, maintaining its status as Africa's top gold producer. We'll break down the numbers for you and explain what this means for our economy. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. All right, thanks for staying with us, everyone. The much talked about Bank of Ghana gold coin has finally gone on sale. You need at least 11,188 cedis to get a quarter ounce. George Affe has more in this report.
The coins are going on sale after the Bank of Ghana started publishing the price guideline for the product earlier this week. Based on this development, anyone can walk to his or her bank and make that request to own some of these gold coins. However, the purchase can be made only through one's account or mobile money. When the request is made, the commercial bank in question will then place a request with the central bank. Now, based on the guidelines, a quarter of an ounce of the Ghana gold coin is being sold at 11,108 Ghana cedis. Half of an ounce of the Ghana gold coin is going for 22,409 Ghana cedis, whilst an ounce of the Ghana gold coin is being sold at 45,000 Ghana cedis. However, this price will not be static as it's subject to change every day. Now, this because the pricing will be based on the closing dollar price at the London LBMA platform for the auction of gold bars and coins in that country. The Ghana gold coin is said to be manufactured from pure gold and is up to 99.99% purity. The Bank of Ghana earlier this year launched the Ghana gold coin, insisting it is part of efforts to mop up excess liquidity to help control inflation, as well as serve as an alternate investment avenue for Ghanaians.
This, an advisor at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Steve Opata, has revealed that the value of the gold coin will be tied to international market prices. He also notes that the coin will be accessible to individuals holding accounts with any commercial bank in the country. Dr. Opata shared these insights when he appeared on Beyond the Numbers with hosts Winston Taki and Isaac Ofeje.
So the coin is going to be issued in 3 denominations. There's going to be a quarter ounce, a half ounce, and a 1 ounce. And they will derive their values from prices on the international markets. So you will know with some certainty what the price will be, but it's not fixed. Unlike a currency, you know it's 200 cedis, 200 cedis. Well, this is not fixed. Its value will depend on international gold price movement. The price will be determined on the previous day's London Bullion Market Association evening close. So that will be the basis of pricing. But then, as you know, with every delivery, there will be some other charges that are added because we don't want this delivery to cause losses to the central bank. So at least we'll cover the cost associated with delivery, such as the manufacturing of the coin. We also cover the refining, because this has been refined to 99.99% gold. There are some processes to get that done. And for now, it's manufactured abroad, because we wanted it to be manufactured as an LBMA certified refinery. In order for a coin to be considered as monetary gold, it has to be refined at the LBMA certified refinery. That's why we had to do that. We are hoping that eventually we'll get to the point where we can even manufacture these coins here if Ghana gets an LBMA certified refinery. So 99.99% gold, pure gold. So it's almost like 100% gold. 1 ounce, quarter ounce, and half an ounce. The weights are, I think it's in the Q&A, so I wouldn't want to go into the weight so much. But so the features of it are very standard, so that if a customer gets that coin, that coin will look very similar to another if you take another quarter ounce coin, unless you have something like a counterfeit.
Is it open to or accessible to everyone? And how can an individual or someone who is interested in this particular gold coin have one?
Okay, so currently it will be accessible to all residents in Ghana who have a banking relationship. The central bank is going to deploy this coin through our 23 banks, and then customers of these banks can go and purchase the coin from there after they've gone through the regular KYC, know your customer process that you do when you go to a bank. So you must have a relationship with a bank. And the reason why we want to do that is that we want to avoid people who are not supposed to have this coin to have it. Yeah. Like people, money launderers, and people who are involved in activities that we don't think are financially stable.
And how is an individual going to buy the coin? Is it going to be in cedis or in dollars? And in terms of the exchange rate situation, how are investors supposed to, handle this? Okay,
so for residents in Ghana, everyone is supposed to buy the coin in cedis. But we want to promote the use of the cedis. It will be counterintuitive to ask people to buy this in dollars, because we want to encourage people who live in Ghana to use the cedis. So we buy at cedis, but at an identified exchange rate. The exchange rate we are going to use is the Bloomberg RGN, we call it RG, that's regional ticker mid rate. Yeah. So that's the exchange rate that we're going to use. So that one will be well known by the banks. So the pricing framework is very transparent. We know it's going to be London Bullion Market, previous day closing, and the day of the transaction, the Bloomberg mid rate will be used. So you do the conversion, and then you have a price. But like I said, there are going to be some other charges, so that we can cover our costs there. And now, with every commodity, gold is a precious commodity and can be volatile. Yeah. So it can go through ups and downs. I think this is the highest I have seen gold, right? 2,600 and something. Gold, that's the highest. Cocoa, and other commodities. So when we started the domestic gold purchase program, I remember gold was 1,600, 1,600. In other words, to break it down, if you have a gold coin and you have T-bills and you also have some stocks, then you can see that you are well protected. Yeah.
What is the limits that one must have before you can have access to any of the coin?
Okay, so that is really dynamic. I remember when I did the first interview, I was calculating around 10,000. I was quoted a lot on that. But that is not the idea. The basic thing is that a quarter ounce, which is the smallest coin, will be 2,600 divided by 4. And then multiply it by the applicable Bloomberg rate. Today, the mid rate is, I think it's around 15.96, something like that. So that's what you should be doing. That is the minimum you need to buy the coin, the quarter ounce coin. But like I said, we also add the charges. So you're going to pay something a little bit more than that. And Bank of Ghana will also add something small.
All right, that was advice at the Bank of Ghana. Dr. Steve Opata speaking on Beyond the Numbers. We're going to be heavy on gold a little bit more, because Ghana is set to surpass 4 million ounces of gold production this year, maintaining its status as Africa's top gold producer. This is according to data shared by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor. Speaking at the 10th Ghana Mining Industry Awards in Accra, Mr. Jinapor revealed that the first half of 2024 recorded production exceeding 2 million ounces, estimated at $5 billion. We are joined in studio by my colleague, Winston Taki, for more insight on this. And so he's the man who's got the figures, right? Run us through gold production revenue for, is it the first half of this year?
Yeah, this is for the first half of this year. Annually, gold gives us about $11.9 billion every year. So if you look at domestic revenue source for government, gold contributes enormously. Interesting, when the minister was speaking, he projected that by the close of this year, we are likely to see about $10 billion in revenue. But that might be limited based on some projection. However, he's anticipating more based on the upcoming of some mines. But I want us to look at these figures there. When we look at our gold export, comparative analysis between 2023 and 2024, it tells us that in the first half of 2023, we were able to hit about 3.44 billion US dollars compared to this year. That's the first half of this year. We are now around 5.04 billion.
Do we know what happened between then and the first half of 2024?
Initially, here the prices were a bit down. If you look at the gold market in 2023, it was quite down. Compared to between 2023 to 2024, we have seen the commodity increasing in value. Also, international markets, the transaction compared to Egypt, Europe, and China, who are the key buyers of gold commodities. Also, the United Arab Emirates are also key importers of gold. So Ghana and South Africa happen to be key players in that aspect. However, with what we've attained in the first half, it's likely that going into the latter part of the year, due to anticipation of some new mines coming into life, it is likely Ghana will surpass the target.
We've turned to our gold international reserves. What do you find there?
Now, when we talk about the reserves, one key conversation that came to light is how government consistently, the central bank, has been touting how well our reserves have looked at. But when we look at our gold reserves as of now, the gross international reserves, first half of 2023, we were at $5.34 billion. In the first half of 2024, we are now hovering around $6.86 billion.
What does this mean?
This simply means that when it comes to holding, especially a backup for a city, we are in a good place in terms of the stability of the economy. This is what gives the central bank confidence that nothing should be shaken. If you look at the conversation the central bank governor has been having, it tells us that he doesn't see anything wrong, because if we compare our reserves to last year, we have performed astronomically, and that gives us some cover in terms of revenue and also stability.
So how does this, I think we can look at the trade balance, export versus import. What do you find there?
So when we look at the export in the first half of this year, it appears that Ghana's export has performed astronomically great. If you look at import, we're then at $10.14 billion in terms of import, which gives us a trade balance of $2.22 billion. And this is good in the sense that this gives us more forex inflow in terms of dollar.
Which is so need badly, yeah.
Basically, so thereby reducing the pressure on the cedi, and this gives us more leverage in terms of pressure on the currency.
So how does this all benefit the economy, do you say?
So if you look at the economy in this sense, one key conversation.
Interesting that the cedi pops up.
Yeah, that's what I was coming at. One key conversation is the stability of the cedi. The central bank has touted the gold for oil policy coming into play to play the key role. We've seen the cedi depreciate in 2024 by 24.30% compared to 2023, around 22.90%. But the key policies that has come between 2023 December to now is the gold for oil policy, where government has tried to consistently institute some policy. We've seen recent market intervention by the central bank to push in more dollars. That is what we've seen for the last 2 weeks, some marginal appreciation of the value of the cedi. The key conversation also came to light about how consistent can government hold up to that particular strategy. This week, we are still observing the market. The central bank policy committee meeting is ongoing. Next week, we are likely to see the outcome of some of the policy decisions that may come up. But market is suggesting that it's likely the central bank will maintain the policy rate at 27%.
I appreciate your insights. Winston Taki, the host Beyond the Numbers here on joining us. Well, still on the gold side of things, the National Democratic Congress has assured gold buyers of the implementation of the appropriate regulations that will deal with bottlenecks in local gold trading. Players in the industry complain of cumbersome licensing regime hindering the growth of the sector. Former Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Dr. Tony Obin, says it is among the areas the NDC hopes to improve through the Minerals Commission. Anaya Ojima has more in the following report.
The Minerals Income Investment Fund has raked in over $1 billion within 12 months through its gold trade desk. According to the fund, unregulated small-scale mining activities contribute to the loss of about $3 billion annually, hence the need to provide reliable markets. As part of the NDC's campaign promises to the extractive industry, the party aims at enhancing the capacity of the Minerals Commission to facilitate gold trade. Former CEO of the Minerals Commission, Dr. Tony Obin, explains the next NDC government will ensure an effective licensing regime to guard against harassment of gold traders.
We learn gold dealers are being harassed by persons claiming to be national security operatives. I'm told the people are not properly identified. They come in and harass gold traders without license and take away their gold and money. This is robbery. We should make sure we deal with such issues and improve the licensing regime.
On the license, on the license, no matter. I'm saying we are not license and found what you go to now. In fact, I buy a new gun, maybe I put your secret license now. And away and the same.
As part of campaign in mining areas, the committee visited some mining sites in Takwa. The hub employs hundreds of youth who are engaged in the extraction of gold. Dr. Oben believes the small-scale mining sector will have to be protected by regulating their activities.
President
President Rawlings introduced small-scale mining. He made laws to regulate the sector. It is solely for indigents. For this reason, you should know we understand the industry better.
For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima.
We're taking a break on the marketplace. When we come back, let's talk tech. Welcome back to the marketplace. Time to talk tech. Well, it's just 10 days to the elections, and researchers have uncovered a network of bot accounts on X that use ChatGPT to write posts to favor political candidates ahead of the elections. Here to talk about it, I believe for Eyes of Africa, Henry Kobler. Good afternoon to you, Henry. So tell us a bit more about these bot accounts.
I think that generally we've had this issue where social media has been used to push political agendas for a while. I mean, and especially within our regions, we currently are seeing that, especially when you're having automated generated content now being used on Twitter, which is now X especially, where the content are sort of generated, and then fake accounts and bot accounts are being used to peddle some of these generated content. And so generally, when you're on social media, especially with X, you would then realize that the same content is sort of being pushed by certain accounts. And this is generally very simple enough to do, where you basically can just buy an account, say 200 different bot accounts, and then relay the kind of information that you sort of need it to put out there. And then these accounts then target within the geographical locations of the people that you want to target, and then you get to push these contents to them. Again, this sort of, very point where Twitter basically sort of makes some level of money because these accounts basically also do advertisement and so can push these content through advertisement models to users.
Is there a way of determining which account is a bot account?
You might not necessarily know, but again, it's sort of in the content where you sort of subscribe or you sort of taking a more look at them can be most of the times pushed to you. And so you might not necessarily know whether they are bot accounts or not, but they get to have their way. Usually, like I'd mentioned, they also use advertisement models, and so they get to have their way even when you've not subscribed to them.
Yeah, are bot accounts always associated with misinformation? I mean, is there any cause for concern, any cause for worry, any danger?
Yes, it's sort of a cause for concern, but you might also rule it as a marketing strategy or a guerrilla marketing strategy, again, because it's a cause to worry when you are having information being pushed onto you and sort of giving you some level of identity and also points you in a particular direction. I mean, the point is that it does not usually even speak in favor of the political parties that's sort of putting it out there, but it's sort of putting out very terrible misinformation about the other political party. And so that sort of gets you to be irritated or do not get to consider some of those things. Again, I mean, some of these propaganda agendas are sort of pushed through these mediums. And so it creates an image where that image necessarily is not what should really be out there. I reckon that there's been even an arrest on a radio presenter that basically peddled false information. It's the same thing with social media as well. I mean, so far as that information that's going out there does not sell that image which needs to be out there, it sort of can be looked at as a criminal offense or misdemeanor relatively, but I think that it creates an image on social media. And again, the internet never forgets. Some of these information that is being pushed out there now gets to be pushed into generative AI and different archive sources on the internet, and that becomes a source of worry in the next 5 or 10 years, where most of these information are going to keep surfacing and would always be in the archives for other people to take a look at.
Well, we know how social media influence the US elections, for instance. We just have 30 seconds. I just want your thoughts on this. Australia's House of Representatives today passed a bill that will ban children younger than 16 from social media. Your thoughts?
I think it's very harsh, but it's also in the right direction, again, because I'm feeling that they would have done quite a lot of research into it. There's been quite a number of cases, especially in Australia itself, where social media has sort of influenced kids and people below 18. And so I think that it relatively would be a harsh point, but I'm thinking that the researchers which comes to play and the fact would actually get them to go through. I think the social media platforms are saying they should hold on, but I think that it's in the right direction.
We'll talk a bit more about this subsequently. Thank you so much, Henry Cobbler, joining us for Let's Talk Tech, and that's the marketplace. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com, including our top story on the Ghana gold coin going on sale, myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for watching.